Magubwa.
When these dads meet world, watching Boy Meets World. We grew up on the show, now we have kids and host a podcast. We watch each episode and then share our thoughts and grades. When these dads meet world.
They want you to take the roles.
We didn't talk about who's going to be hosting.
No, we didn't.
Well, welcome to another report card episode. Good looking people. Brett and I always love doing these so we can kind of re-go over the whole season and just kind of give a general sense of how we felt about it. Weekly deep dive into that 90s classic show known as Boy Meets World. This is Dad's Meet World. I am dad number one this week, Tyler, I guess. Enjoying as always.
I'll be dad number 2 this week. In my head, it was an odd numbered episode, so I was just rolling with it.
That's fine. These are always the fun. I'll tell you what. These are always the fun ones to me because, like, with the episodes, we know we're going to start with the synopsis. We're going to go through. We're going to talk about the episode, and then we know how we're going to end. And then we do these, and we go, well, we can either have a 5-minute episode, or we're going to talk for like a half hour, and we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the good old days, Brett.
Oh, yes.
So, Brett, how are you, and how did you feel about this season? And also, hey, we're in the Halloween season, so how are you feeling about that?
Well, yeah, I'm good. It's Halloween season. It's probably my favorite season of the year. I like the spooky season. Spooky season for me starts around September. You can see over my shoulder, I've got Steve the skeleton. He's chilling in the background. I got to move him upstairs at some point because he belongs in our living room. I just don't know where he's going to go this year.
He is our third member.
Yeah, but technically he belongs upstairs during Halloween months. I've got Goose who travels in my car with me in my co-pilot seat. But yeah, I'm doing well. It's almost fall break. I'm taking a week of vacation next week so I can hang out with the kids. Yeah. And as far as how the season went, I think it was probably one of the lower end seasons for me as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that when we actually go through the grades and everything.
Yeah.
But how about you?
Well, okay, I'll talk about Boy Meets World for a second. This was, I think, the hardest season for the two of us to get through. Like, both personally and just in the show-wise. It just felt like a lot of things got in the way this season. And so this season took so much longer for us to record through, which on one hand I feel bad, but, you know, we still got through the season.
It did feel like a marathon at times.
Yeah. Well, and there were definitely several episodes that were very heavy. And so there were times when I knew you and I could both record, but we just didn't have it emotionally to discuss the episode, you know, give it the respect it deserves. Mm-hmm. You know, because regardless of how we feel about the transition from airing live network TV, you know, weekly and, you know, taking their little breaks to a streaming system, we still have so much respect for the show. We love this show. We still talk about the show. We quote the show. We still annoy our wives.
Oh, totally.
That's the best way to put it. If people have not caught on to the fact when our wives are on here, we still bother them with Boy Meets World.
A little bit. Although I think yours might be a little more annoyed than mine is.
Oh, absolutely. So my wife is still discovering a bunch of little things that I held on to as precious to me. And she's just like, seriously, they're still precious to you? It's like, yes. I will not give them up. These are my preciouses.
My precious.
Yes. But yeah, we're in the Halloween season, and not a sponsor, but I got the Kit Kat Witch's Brew, which is by far my favorite version of Kit Kat. I do enjoy a good solid, just the white chocolate version, but I love, for whatever reason, that witch's brew just hits me just right. Um, so yeah, and then so yeah, it's a good season right now. And as far as personal life season, it feels weird, but it feels good, and that's the best way to talk about it, I think.
Yeah,
So, Brett, should we get into the heads?
I think we should. I think I think we'll start with the grades.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And as you can see here,
Although you're like, yeah, it's a real low one for me, and it's still a C.
yeah, but comparatively, I think this might be my lowest. I didn't go back through and look at every other season, but it feels like it might be my lowest one.
Yeah.
When all the grades line up for us, you come out with an 88.9. We'll round it up to an 89%. It's a high
Mm-hmm.
B for you. For me, it's a 79.4. Gets rounded down to a 79%. It's a high C for me. High C. Woohoo.
I like that.
And you can see all of our grades side by side for all of our episodes right there in one place. And then we'll go to our heads. Ah, yes.
You see the puppy dog? He's a good boy. Yay, look at that beautiful head.
These are all of your episodes here. You can see your like
Only
a
having
good
two
roller
D's is not a bad
coaster.
thing. Very much so.
Yes. Yes, you got your a good roller coaster or a good EEG. Started in the B's and you end in a good run of A's there.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah,
we
I
get it
felt
to
that I was for the most part outside of the really good episodes. I was in that B range for most of the season, so it all
yeah.
makes real
And then we get to
sense.
mine.
That is a scary coaster.
That is a very scary coaster, but I
Ah!
I would ride that one.
Ah! I'm sorry.
That is a
I scared
sharp
the cat.
drop. From
Good
episode
night.
7 to episode 8, that is a sharp drop.
It's a very sharp drop.
Oh man, you're flying out of your seats on that one. I don't know how you get up
Mm-hmm.
to episode 9 on that one.
Hi.
But it was finished with a strong climb, I'll tell you that. The season did finish with a strong climb for
Thank you.
me. And then
Gosh.
oh yeah, we lay them over each other.
Oh, I like the ones when we're snuggling.
Just a bunch of disembodied heads. We've got
Mm-hmm.
some that are there together, but a lot of them are not.
Yeah.
But you
Well,
notice the really low lows we are not very far off on.
no, I knew we weren't. I mean, for most of the highlights, though, we were really much in sync. It's just a matter of I was much more forgiving for several episodes, and you were not as much.
Very true. I was a harsher critic for this season than you were.
Yeah, I'm still surprised though that you gave the Psycho episode a higher grade than I did.
Yes, it's a comfort episode for me, and it is never presented as anything but a gigantic cartoon.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I will take it as face value for what it is. So
Uh,
those are our grades for a season 6.
I think that's the only one though where it's like a big leap of difference. Otherwise, I'm either way ahead of you or we're right along sync or just barely above you.
Oh yeah. So those are our grades. Do you have anything else in mind for us this evening as we look at back on season 6?
I did. Brett, there's kind of a consensus, I think, within the. Hi, you were like intensely looking just there. Um, Joining us is our third dad today, Buddy Jones, who can't be a dad because
Buddy
he's fixed.
Jones.
Although he
He's
would
not
have made a
fixed.
good
He's
puppy
broken.
dad.
He's
he,
broken. He can't be
he,
a dad.
he was broken on purpose. Fine. So the funny thing still is, I said, "Would you like to look at the girl doggy or the boy doggy?" And my son said, "The boy doggy," and that's why we have Buddy. All right. Yeah. So I just kind of Googled like Boy Meets World season 6, and it took me to looks like the one of the Boy Meets World Reddit threads, Brett. And there's just kind of this consensus that we've kind of talked about quite a bit, which is, that first season, it delves deeply in the, 80s style of family comedies, and it really fits in line with so many before them. And then season 2 through 5 is what the quote unquote consensus is for uh, peak Boy Meets World. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I understand that for the general feels, you could say, for especially the high school stuff. I mean, they got into the high school stuff way too quickly. Like, they were so excited to get Corey to high school that he wasn't ready in to be high school. He was in middle school. And then they
Mm-hmm.
wanted him out of high school so quickly, except he was now really in high school. And I
Mm-hmm.
think as I was going through to prepare for this, Brett, I realized something. Most of the episodes from season 5 could easily be with a few tweaks thrown into this season, and nobody would notice a difference. Instead of it being in John Adams for the few scenes, it's just at the college somewhere. The storylines from last season to this season could easily be swapped, and a lot of times the school things they discuss are high school things this year, and the things they did last year were the college things. And
Yep.
I think that might be the big problem, especially being that I am, you know, I've been away from college long enough to know the difference of what should be a story for high school compared to college, and um, I don't know. Some of the things that they did for Eric being in college made sense. Like, he was not living on campus, except occasionally there would be college students living in the same apartments. You go, okay, well maybe it's a building for college students living off campus. And then this season there were old people there. So I think
Mm-hmm.
really it's the big thing that maybe we need to discuss. I'll throw it to you, Brett, since I'm giving you so much to ponder right now. But is continuity now just truly the biggest problem? Because the world that they keep resetting, redoing, like the Good Place did, just has no real foundation to continue to build on.
I would say continuity was never a strong suit to begin with. So, I mean, it's not a show that you watch for its continuity. It's the continuity was broken from the second season on. It's
Yes.
not. I mean, it's not something that you really would have to worry about building upon. It it was building the plane as you're flying, basically. I mean, it was TV in an era where continuity was not king. You didn't have these massive show bibles that you do today, where every character is mapped out, their arcs are mapped out, and you know what the end point is going to be. So it was a lot more open-ended. And unfortunately, with that comes a lot more continuity errors and issues. So, as a product of its time, it's not as broken as we try to force it to be. But yes, continuity is its Achilles heel.
Well, and I can't help but think that the problem really does stem from the original understanding of what the show is. It's a show that's wrapped around Ben Savage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a this is this family show. It's this is the boy and him experiencing the world, and the world
Mm-hmm.
adjusts to his understanding of the world. Um, unlike say let's just throw out some of the things we talked about over the years. Wow, I can say that now. Years for this podcast. We talked about Full House. Full House is based on three men living together to raise children. You know,
Yep.
step by step. It's two families trying to blend together, trying to figure out how to parent each other's kids.
Mm-hmm.
Family matters. Yes, the original conceit of the show was, hey, we have these two wonderful characters, these two black, very loving couple. Why don't we see if we can build something off of there? And then Urkel came along, and the show adjusted kind of around him and the teenagers a little bit more.
The Urkel Show.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those weird deals where the original conceit of the show is, how do we build a show around this kid, which at first meant there are adults that are trying to help him understand the world, his parents, both equally at first, and his teacher, who just happened to be his next door neighbor. But now and really we go back to what is the real issue of this season. The real issue of the season, he's trying to do all this stuff on his own, and instead of getting the help and support from his friends or his brother, he just struggles.
Mm-hmm.
Where in seasons past, he could just go to his parents or his neighbor and say, hey, here's my problem. I need help solving this. And he tries to do that with his fiance, his
Not his
best friend,
girlfriend.
and his new attentive best friend. And all three of them kind of just go, well, what do you expect? What do you want from us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in season 6 they really do drop the ball on the whole world part. Uh, they do focus on the boy, sometimes to his detriment, but they forget about the rest of the world and
Mm-hmm.
what their role is supposed to be. They become background characters almost a lot of the time.
Yep.
And there are times where we see Corey just thrown into situations just to see how he'll react.
Yes.
And there are times where we do get to explore other characters. Like Sean does get some really bad Sean's a bad friend arc, but Sean also gets some really good growth in an arc when his father dies.
Yeah.
But we also forget a lot of what Feeney's role is. We forget a lot of what Alan and Amy's role is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the opportunity of having Eric there on campus, Eric's been flanderized over the last couple of seasons to the point that Eric can't be that potential guiding voice to Corey when he's on campus with him now.
Yeah. Oh, and Eric going through a year, potentially 2 years of not being at school and being out in the real world, this is his time to shine, to be an actual example to his brother and to be a support and to be a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have had plenty of episodes where Corey's struggling, potentially finding or with classes or with his friends, and Eric kind of can help guide him through that, help
Mm-hmm.
understand this is the difference between high school and college. And so many times this season, too, things just came up that were so high school, like popularity, um, like them being willing to be friends with someone who is a horrible human being just because they're cool.
Yeah.
In for lack of better wording, coolness means nothing in college.
Yeah. It's so low on the totem pole,
Hmm.
especially at a school the size of Pembroke.
Yeah, if we're to believe that this is a major university with research going on, with like colleges inside of the university, and like it takes a while to get places walking, you know, you'd think
Mm-hmm.
that there'd be a whole lot more going on.
I
And
mean,
there's
they're
no
big enough to
guidance
have a
counselors.
rivalry with the Amish.
Yes. That's next season. That's next season. Um, yeah, and we talked about this pretty openly too. But for both Sean or not Sean, Corey. Well, yeah, we'll add a little bit of Sean there. But for Corey and Eric both, their storylines so often were the two of them needing help, no one listening, and no one being there for them. One could argue that is how life will eventually go. But college is that beautiful little middle ground where you are kind of in the real world, but you're not fully in the real world yet. You have still a bit of a
Mm-hmm.
bubble around you.
Yeah. It's a transitional state. It's not, you're not fully there yet.
Right. And, I wish they could have had more times where Alan could almost be more friend with them, and they could have shown him maybe having more of the midlife crisis, but um, I don't know. It feels like they only know how to make him mean dad, and I'm disappointed dad, and this is how we talk through it.
Yeah. Or Lothario dad. Yeah, you see what I made there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh, just the amount of episodes that could have been solved this season with Feeney or Alan Matthews or Amy Matthews just talking with one of them would have been
Yeah.
huge. Um, yeah. And, we can even go back to the episode where Topanga is essentially assaulted in her own um, dorm room,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not the focus of the episode.
No, of course not. It's
And
the focus for about 20 seconds.
there were way too many jokes in that episode that should not have been there, and they really could have had a moment where they discussed the fact that there's a high unfortunately there's a high probability of a female student being assaulted in a dorm room at college. um, and that's a scary thing, but it's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there are certain rules at universities and colleges to help prevent those things.
Yep.
So, um, yeah, I, I mean, I love this season for sure because this season is very nostalgic for me. Um, I remember being just emotionally invested in this as a child and loving it, and um, there's so many memories wrapped up in this time period for me with this show. That's why I was willing to give grace to so many episodes. But um, some of the stuff about high school and um, or college, high school, all that jazz, just not very forgivable, really. But yeah, uh, sorry. Well, how do I say this? Brett, the last thing I think we should discuss is I don't know if anyone on the writing staff has ever planned a wedding.
Oh, yeah.
but if they had, I fearful of what they did.
Yeah, if they're drawing on personal experience, I am sorry for the way their own weddings went.
Hmm.
Because that sounds like it was a horrible, horrible experience for them.
Yeah. Like Topanga, this whole season, when you watch it straight through, it feels like all Topanga is focused on is we have to plan this wedding, we have to plan this wedding, we have to plan this wedding, we have to plan this wedding. You must make the decisions for this wedding.
Yeah.
So, and
We can't do anything until you pick this.
right. Everything comes down to you. And I think, I gotta say, Corey made it very clear. I am with you forever. I want to be with you. I'm committed to you.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think Corey's just one of those classic guys who just says, just tell me where and when to be, and I will be there.
Even if it's in the road.
Right. Or in the road. We'll get there.
Honeymoon.
Yeah. Well, okay, but maybe that's the real problem with this season is it's an incomplete story. Because this season really finishes up next season.
Mm-hmm. And that
So,
could be.
I don't know. And I gotta still say, the season ends on the most bummerish way possible.
Oh, it is such a bummer. It is such a drag.
Mm-hmm. And then the next season starts with it being a big giant bummer and people not communicating, and apparently people can't be friends.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I naturally just assumed.
Well, you know what happens when you assume.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, can't wait to cover that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have any fun games planned because the season's just like the season's very nostalgic. There's a lot of great fun moments from the show, but from the storytelling perspective, from the first season, the first episode of the season to the end of the season, you're like, what is the point of this season?
Mm-hmm. It's a very hodgepodge of a season.
It is. I mean, season one is Corey needs to learn to be quiet and take school somewhat more serious. And he does that. And by the end, he's a good kid.
Mm-hmm.
Second season is Corey needs to stay out of trouble and stay away from bad influences. Third season is Corey desperately needs to be with Topanga. Fourth season is don't take off Topanga and try to be a good friend to Sean.
Fifth season is graduate.
Yes. Fifth season is graduate as quickly as possible.
Season 6, there's just so many smaller, different goals and mini arcs to season 6 that there's no real definitive story through line to season 6. So it's very hard to get to put that stamp on.
Yeah. Well, and every time you think they're going to give more depth to a character, like an Angela or Rachel, they just don't.
They just stop writing lines for them and make them be background characters.
Essentially, yes. You know, I think about the show The New Girl. Did you ever watch through The New Girl?
I did not.
New Girl has a very similar problem of what is Boy Meets World. It's someone who is quirky and needs to find their new community, and eventually the community is what's wonderful about the show, and they're not only focusing in on that main character, but the first seasons they do. We're now at that point where we should be focusing in on the other characters, and almost how Corey could help them through their problems, but it's still all wrapped up into Corey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Brett Crick rewrite. You know the episode where Corey realized he's not special because the girl comes, the painter, Alexandria?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What if it was Topanga that had the imposter syndrome? That she didn't think that she was special.
Well, we certainly wouldn't get that really cringy wind beneath my wings moment.
We would not, although I do love that moment.
I know you do. I don't.
Yeah, but wouldn't
And
that
I
have been
like cringe humor, and I don't like that moment.
oh. Well, yeah, wouldn't that have been so interesting, Brett, though, to have her be the one to be like, panicking because she's not as special as she used to be, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's at the same time she got a B or something.
Yeah.
I think she did get a B that episode. I mean, hugs and kisses, you really can't change anything of that because it's Sean and Topanga kissing each other. But yeah, everybody loves Stewart. If it actually focused on Topanga and what happened to her.
Oh, yeah. We rewrote that one on the fly.
Yes, we did. I mean, there's several episodes where it could have been Sean who was the one that was now with a conundrum outside of the stuff with his father.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric could have taken some of these. So, I think it really probably is just the fact that it was way too focused in on what Corey can and can't handle and how people don't have time for him anymore.
Yep.
What do we give the episode Road Trip? I can't remember.
Road trip. Let's see here. We both gave it D's.
There it is. Yeah, because there's not really a point to that episode. We did actually rewrite. We spent most of the time rewriting that episode too.
Yes.
Well, Brett, you want to close us out with a couple of dad jokes?
Couple of dad jokes. Oh, yeah. Give me a moment. Let me find some.
Oh, you're fine. I know you're able to find them a lot faster than I am, so.
All right, I got a couple here for you.
All right, great.
I'm getting old.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell my friends I picked up a hottie at the club, it means I bought a rotisserie chicken at Costco.
Very nice.
And one more. The human body is 60% water, so really, we're just cucumbers with anxiety.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for us this week, good-looking people.
Yeah. A little more whiny than normal.
A little more get off my porch energy.
Yeah.
But next time we'll be starting week 7, season 7. And who knows what kind of energy we'll be bringing to that one.
We'll start our little mini series of Alien Rangers for Boy Meets World.
Until then, you can reach us on our social media channels at dadsmeetworld across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter/X, if I can remember how to log into that one. It wouldn't let me log in last week when I tried, so.
Because it's lame.
And you can send us an email at dadsmeetworld@gmail.com. And on YouTube at dadsmeetworld if you're not already watching us there. You can also leave us a review across wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Review or a rating. That's how it lets people know where to find us. And that's what gets the word out about the dad love. And we're all about sharing the dad love.
All about it.
So until next time, we'll see you, good looking.
Back to you, good looking.
How can I learn so much every week and still be so stupid? Ow! want to be normal, Spud.
This is good TV.
Oh, I am never gonna pee again. Ow, that hot. Underpants. Was that duckies? No, garbage. Read the Bible.
Dads Meet World is a production of Headfirst Studios. Headfirst Studios. Tell your story.